Welcome back, everybody, for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to the new comic books coming out this upcoming Wednesday, April 17th, 2024. This is a collection of books, whether they be books already selling at a premium, some incentive covers I find interesting, covers I just like, some variants that we have being released for this special month, and some new number ones, first appearances, etc. Things that just kind of catch my eye. I think that you guys should be keeping an eye out for when you hit the shops on this new comic book Wednesday. Also including things I'm reading and like to read and suggest you guys go and check out as well. With that all said, hopefully you're enjoying this as well as everything else here on the channel. Please make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see the books that I got for you this week to keep on your watch list, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I will be right back. Okie dokie. Well, we are going to start off as we do every week with my personal picks. These are things that just I like, I think you should be paying attention to, and I just want to talk about first. So, for this week, one of the first things I want to look at is Cobra Commander number 4. No secret, loving the Energon universe. Great writing, great stories. I'm really into this. Joshua Williamson is killing it on this Cobra Commander series. It just keeps getting better and better with each issue. And now we got Nemesis Enforcer showing up here on the cover to cover A. There is also a cover B as well, including some incentive variants that aren't too bad if you want to go and collect these as well. The 1 in 10 is a connecting cover. I showed that on the most recent Hidden Gems that both the Duke and Cobra Commander miniseries, all of the 1 in 10s actually connect to form a larger image going through the entire series. The 1 in 25 goes back to the classic G.I. Joe card back for the action figures. And then we also have a pretty sweet 1 in 50 here as well. None of these are selling really above ratio. They're a little bit above, a little bit below. Like we're talking, the 1 in 25 is like 20 to 30. The 1 in 50, you can find it for 40, you can find it for 50, and the 1 in 10, again, in that same kind of range where they're right around ratio. So I'm not going to put any pricing information up here, so you should be able to grab them if you are interested. Another book that I think you should be paying attention to is Avengers Twilight. This has been a good read since the start. It has had some interest since the start. Maybe it's waning a little bit. Maybe it's losing a little of that momentum. But I don't know. I still think it's pretty good. And we have issue 5, I believe, at this point coming out. We got Hawkeye now getting the spotlight here on a lot of these covers where we had the A, we got B, C's, and D's, and we've got incentive covers to match these as well, including some virgin versions of those other covers for the 1 in 50 and the 1 in 100, as well as, new art on a 1 in 25. I mentioned before that the highest ratio is that lightning cover that we've seen, a lightning cover for basically every character being spotlighted throughout this series. So Hawkeye is the next to get that treatment, following I think it was Cap on number 1, Iron Man on number 2, Ms. Marvel on number 3, and I think Thor on number 4. So Hawkeye is our guy for number 5. So again, I think you should be reading this. We'll see where this one should be wrapping up. Actually, I don't know how many issues it is. I don't know if it's 6 or if it's going like a full 12 or what. I'm going to have to double check into that, but definitely been a good read so far. Another book to keep an eye on this week, surprisingly, is Spider-Woman. Spider-Woman number 6. Now, my buddy Jack Hornblatt, who was on TAC with us this last week, he loves keeping up with everything Marvel, and he loves keeping all of us CBSI writers informed as well. As he likes to look ahead, reading through the FOC information and all the preview stuff, and making some intelligent guesses on what's coming, as you guys have seen with some of the articles that we've spotlighted, bringing him on the channel with the Timeless stuff, as well as Blood Hunt this past week. Another one that he noticed was the mentions of these new champions showing up in Spider-Woman. So who were the new champions? You remember all those variant covers where we had that slew of new sidekick characters? Some of these have already hit, some of these have already appeared, but this group apparently is going to show up at the end of this issue, maybe. We'll see. Looks like they may be playing out in a little bit more in this Spider-Woman series going forward, but this issue, they're mentioned in the teaser, in the little previews guide thing, so looks like they are coming. So it is one to keep an eye out for, despite the fact that they're not on the cover, and there is not a cover that does feature them, but keep an eye out for them nonetheless. Apart from that cover A, which you saw, there is a vampire cover, which we'll get to once we get to the vampire cover section later on, following that, the Blood Hunt lead in. But there is a pretty sweet 1 in 25 that you should also be mindful of. I really like this. I believe this is who's our artist? Let me bring up the pricing because here it is. Oh, Yagawa. So Ricky Yagawa, if I'm pronouncing the name properly. I like this. I think it's a pretty cool cover. Early pre-sales were right around ratio 25, 18, and then all of a sudden, as we got closer and closer, hit up to 50 with an early pre-sale. Does that mean anything? We don't know. It could tip off that this could be more expensive, but the fact that people are asking a lot of money even before this is out could also be an indicator that this one might trade above ratio as the week goes on. We'll see what the volume ends up being and if these prices get met. But for right now, you can see some of the prices paid, but the prices sellers are looking for right now ahead of this Wednesday's release are 55, 70, $80 for this 1 in 25, which is a little bit steep in my opinion. And I'm not sure if there's volume there to back those prices yet, but a couple best offers get accepted. It gets a little momentum. Who knows? Those prices could easily be reached by the time we reach Friday. With that said, that is definitely one of the variants to watch this week. And there's a couple of others that seem to be doing well in the pre-sale market already, but this is one. If you have access to it, maybe you consider it when you go to your shop. The next book that I want to talk about is Ultimate Black Panther. We are getting another issue here. Issue 3. The Ultimate Universe is rolling forward. Is everybody still on board? Is it losing momentum like Avengers Twilight seemed? Or is everybody just still enjoying it and we're still just moving forward? Yeah, we'll see. But issue 3, Enter Storm and Killmonger, even though they were there in issue 2, I guess they're going to get more of a feature here in issue 3. Multiple covers here as well, including pretty awesome Boss Logic. And then there is also a 1 in 10 incentive design cover for our Ultimate Universe Storm. And there is also a 1 in 25 variant as well, if you're into that. None of the incentives are doing much above ratio. They're kind of in the same boat as the GI Joe stuff, the Cobra Commanders, where a little above, a little below. You will see some copies of this sell for $20, some copies sell for 30. It's mostly around that 25, 1 to 25 ratio, so nothing really to report special for this one. But we'll keep an eye on it nonetheless. See if this starts moving as the week goes on. Another personal favorite of mine. I enjoyed the first issue. I am looking forward to the second issue to see if they can continue this high octane, crazy anime manga style, not end of the world, like apocalyptic future, sports, entertainment. I don't know, silliness. This is just a wild Borderlands type of ride here. But I Heart Skull Crusher #2. Looking forward to this at a boombox. And a couple of covers here as well. We got the cover A, we've got cover B, and then an FOC reveal cover, which is really nice. That's probably my favorite of the bunch, is that last cover there. And then we also have some incentives as well, including a 1 in 10, which is a version of the cover A. It's not bad. Got a Street Fighter kind of vibe to it. This one has a 1 in 10. No sales as of yet, but already early asking prices for this are looking for 15 to 25. It's above ratio, even a little bit above double if you look at that $25 one. So we'll see if this price gets met or if that's just what people are, going out there fishing for. We'll see. But there is also a 1 in 25 that you want to be mindful of as well. And if your shop ordered enough copies to get a 1 in 25, this is a what's her name? Rainbow Gonzalez, if I'm not mistaken. But Ryan. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Point being, 1 in 25, none sold yet, but the only one listed is seeking a whopping $62 right now. And even some of the bigger stores, like your Midtowns or whatever, they're already sold out when they were selling this, I think, for like $18. So those coffers are cleared. But take a look. Maybe your shop has one if you're interested, and maybe you can get this at ratio or less. With that said, that was my long picks section for this week because there's a lot of stuff I'm looking forward to if you haven't noticed. Again, been watching me do this show for weeks and months now. You should have a pretty well a guide to what I'm interested in, and you shouldn't be surprised by a lot of these books that I have listed already. But in addition to those, I also like to cover all of my reading list books that apart from those, which again might have a little bit extra buzz on the outside, a little higher pricing, some things you might have to hunt and chase, things that could possibly sell out on you. Outside of that, I also have my reading list, which is just stuff that I'm digging, and I think you should be checking out too if you find what I'm saying interesting. So these things will definitely be with those other books near the top of the pile when I get my books this week. Starting off with Helen of Windhorn. Now, the first issue of this was it's kind of long. It felt a little long. It definitely has like TV show vibes to it. I could definitely see this being adapted into a show. Like it's paced that way already, and like that first issue was like one or two episodes could get pulled out of that thing. With how deep they kind of went with the kind of story and setting it up. But interesting story. A little wild granddaughter going back to her grandfather's huge estate where he is a popular writer. Her father passed away with no real regard or fanfare, but we'll see how this goes. Young girl drinks too much. There's a governess involved, trying to get her on the straight and narrow, and her famous grandfather is returning, I think, for this issue too. He didn't show up in issue one, so sorry for the spoiler, but he should be showing up possibly in this issue too, and we'll see where this goes from here. And basically, the writer kind of creates almost like a Conan the Barbarian type universe story, and I think we might get some connections to that sort of world here on this estate. We'll see. Like I said, I'm interested. I'm into this. This is a Tom King story. It is very well written. It's very well thought out, planned, and it has like a deep lore to it already. Like I said, because it feels like this could be adapted into a show. As I read it, I can see this being something that's streaming. But with that said, not a lot of covers here on issue 2. We have a cover A, we have a foil version of it with a nice shiny gold, I guess, and then there is a 1 in 10 virgin cover as well. Not a lot of choices, but there are options if you're looking for anything. I'm probably just going to grab cover A and be fine and be happy with it, just so I can keep reading this story and see where it goes. The next story I'm not as excited to read, but I did read issue 1. I am curious enough to give issue 2 a shot, which is why it's here. But no guarantees I'm going to go on to issue 3, and that is this Golgotha Motor Mountain, which is another wild, futuristic, crazy world, kind of a apocalyptic universe where these two, I think they're brothers, running some futuristic drug through, again, a Borderlands type of atmosphere. We're getting a lot of that kind of vibe lately, right? I mean, we got, apart from a Borderlands movie actually coming, we got Fallout on Amazon Prime, which I still got to get into. Just no time. But curious enough to check out issue 2. Issue 1 was a little hit and miss for me, but enough for me to check out issue 2. There is a cover A and a cover B. I kind of like the cover B. It looks like one of those Shonen Jump magazine covers. I just like it. I don't know. Looks kind of cool to me. So that's the one I'm going to probably try to pick up for this one. But the cover A is not bad with that almost like an oil spill, psychedelic kind of vibe there too. But enough interest here for me to check out issue 2. We'll see if it can hook me for issue 3, because otherwise I'll probably bail. But I'm not bailing on John Constantine because I like Hellblazer. So Hellblazer Dead in America #4 coming our way. Looking forward to reading this. I've been enjoying this story so far. Only 2 covers on this one as well. We got a cover A, and then I'm probably going to grab the cover B because I kind of like that one a little bit better. So cover B is probably going to be my pick out of these 2. But grab the one you want, read the story, and enjoy some more John Constantine Hellblazer action. Okay. Been trying to get back on track with my Nightwing reading because I was enjoying it for a while, and I kind of fell off. And like I said, I'm trying to get back on that horse. So Nightwing is coming out with what is essentially, they're doing the Marvel thing, legacy numbering, issue 300. So it's issue 113 of the current run, but legacy numbering, issue 300. So we're getting a bunch of covers here as well to celebrate that milestone. Cover A, lots of different poses for Nightwing, doing a lot of Nightwing-y things. And then we got some other covers here where we got Robin there in the middle. I kind of dig that one. And then we got one with a whole bunch of Nightwings making up one big Nightwing. And then we've got a, flamenco dancing 70s style chest out, borrowed Marco's shirt type Nightwing here. Get the one that you like. Get the one you like. But if you want an incentive, there is an incentive. It is a 1 in 25, and it is a version of that cover A. And again, you can find these out there. These are selling for less than ratio if you are interested, as are ratios on a lot of DC books and even Marvels. Like there are a lot that if you like the incentives, you can go and find them. Not everything is at a super high premium. But the next book that is on the reading pile is Superman. Read last week's action. We got that Brainiac story starting with all those Lobos. Here is the next part. Part 2 to House of Brainiac is in Superman. So we had Action Comics 1064, I think it was. Now Superman number 13. We're getting the next part in this story. This cover goes with the last one on the cover A because it was a connecting cover. So here we go. We can bring the two together and boom, we've got a nice connecting cover set to start off this House of Brainiac story. You know, I'm a sucker for these things. So connecting cover. Again, you can see last week had the action. This week, Superman. So if you missed last week's action, you can still probably grab it on the shelf. I don't think it's sold out. Was a decent read. I mean, decent enough that I'm interested in the story. I like Brainiac, and I'm into seeing where this goes. A little cliched to start, but a lot of stories like that in events can be that way, where it's you kind of know the plot getting into motion, and then we'll see where the turn comes. Multiple covers here as well, including, some B and C covers, a lot of Brainiac stuff. There's a little bit of Lois on the one cover there. There's a foil version of this cover A that also can match up with last week's foil cover if you want. It's a virgin foil, so you get the two together, you connect them up, they're all shiny foil. And then there's also a 1 in 25, which, again, it's not doing anything on the aftermarket or pre-sale market, I should say. So you can find that for like 10 to 15 bucks. The 1 in 25. So if you're interested, there you go. Keeping up with the X-Men side of things. I'm just kind of riding this out, waiting for this Fall of House of X to finish, but we still got a few issues left. We're not there yet, but we do have issue 4. I'm showing this cover first because this is also, much like the Superman, a connecting cover. So even though we can't get the second part of it yet, you'll have to wait till next week. But next week you can grab Rise of the Powers of X, and that can connect with this one as well. Just like the original series of House and Powers, there is a connecting cover set throughout. There's a variant that connect both issues for that first run, and now this final run that's ending this era of the X-Men before we get a whole brand new start and fresh X-Men titles. Yeah, I know my wild's already hurting thinking about it, but I'm a sucker for this stuff. I love the X-Men. I'm always going to be on board to keep getting this. So they can't scare me away. They can't scare me away. With that said, we do have other covers, including the regular cover A, which is here in the middle, and some other variant covers as well. These are open order, and a couple of these will be turned into the incentives. So as we move through this, you can see that Emma Frost, you can guess that EM Gist cover is going to be an incentive. It's actually going to be the 1 in 50, while the one in the middle is the cover A, is our 1 in 100, and then there is new art for the 1 in 25. Now, with that said, the 1 in 25, right around that ratio mark. Once again, 20, 25, 30 bucks seems to be what the early pre-sales are. I'm not sure where it's going to go from there, but the 1 in 50, being that you could probably guess, you've got a Emma Frost cover. It's almost cheesecake style. You shouldn't be surprised that this one's going to do well. It's a 1 in 50 after all. So early returns aren't huge. I mean, one was only at 43 bucks, but then a couple others at 60 and $72 are over that ratio value. And then we look at what's being asked, 56, 60, 80 bucks. Could be trending in that, again, more than $50 kind of range for this 1 in 50. It's X-Men event. It's going to be heavily ordered, so there's going to be a decent amount of copies out there. But still, we could see this one doing well because, again, it's an Emma Frost cover. Happens. Shouldn't be surprised. Like, you know how this market works by now, don't you? With that said, the 1 in 100 is not really doing all that much. So if you had a choice between the two, and if it's less in price, I would probably go with the 1 in 50 over the 1 in 100. And with that, I think I got one more in the reading pile. I know this is a big week for reading for me. But we got Ghost Rider, Final Vengeance. I read the first issue. It was a lot of jumping around. It was a lot of weird little one-off little kind of stories that were kind of teased and told. But now we got the Hood. We knew the Hood was going to be a new Spirit of Vengeance. Finally got it at the end of the issue. After a lot of, like I said, bouncing around. Now let's see where this story actually goes. So I'm on board to check this out. I like the look. I like how we got here so far, but now I want to know where we're going with Parker Robbins now as the Spirit of Vengeance. Cover A, there is a Stormbreakers cover as well as a Tex cover there. I mean, yeah, it is Tex. I mean, that's Texas style. So if you're into it, you should be all over that. And then we also do have a 1 in 25. If you're interested, there is one incentive variant. This is a Diwali cover, I believe. It's again, same kind of range, 20, 25, $30, pretty close to ratio. Some can go above, some have gone under. We'll see. Asking prices in that same kind of range where you can find some cheap. There's some that are more expensive. We'll see how the week plays out and if demand is created in this. I just want to read this and see where this story is going personally. Now, we'll go back to our normal run of things as we follow up my reading list with new number ones, because these are some other books that might get pulled to the top of my pile to kind of check. Interesting books. Not sure there's a lot this week that it's really driving me to kind of rush to try these new things, but few oddball new things that maybe you're more interested than I am. I'm going to share them here. So, with that said, first book is at a Dark Horse. This Dudley Datsun and the Forever Machine. It reads like a kid's version of Doctor Who to me, but with a pet sidekick. Something about he's got a machine that'll help him travel through time and space, like a TARDIS. But this 15-year-old kid apparently travels with his pet dog, and something about pets in the future or in the past or great men, or I don't know. You read the synopsis for yourself. It's kind of interesting, but I don't know about this one. It is Scott Snyder, so we should be with an open mind. Scott Snyder has written some good stuff, and this is already out there. So fans of this original series, because this was published initially through Comixology, the digital thing. So this is a digital only comic. It's now being printed for the first time, kind of like that graphic novel we had for the DC book from last week or the week before. Anyway, point being, it's print for the first time, but these stories are out there. So you probably where you can go and find it, check it out, and see if you like it before going and committing to buying. But there are a lot of covers. Dark Horse is weird. Dark Horse will give you some issues with, you'll see one later where you got a new number one. We're getting one cover, and then other times they're going to give us like 8 different covers for number one, but no incentives. So here's the cover A. I believe it's B's and C's, as well as a foil version of that cover A in the middle. So you get some gold foil on that bad boy, and then some other variants again. More with the dog, more with our, I guess, teenage Doctor Who. I don't know. And then a couple of others here as well. Pick the one you like, I guess. Give it a read if you're interested. I don't know about this one. I'm still on the fence. I might have to pick it up, flip through it, or see if I can catch what the Comixology thing looked like to give it a quick little preview. But 8 covers. Well, it's Snyder. So, like I said, I'm a little open-minded there. And then, like I said, Dark Horse gives us a new Star Wars title, but it's only got one cover, and this is it. So if you want your Star Wars High Republic Saber for hire, here's your book. No choice, no worries, no incentives, no B covers, just this. If you want it, there you go. This is it. It's High Republic, Star Wars. I'll give it a shot. Then Image is giving us another outside the box type of storyline, 7174 AD. I don't know. It's a lot of design. It looks a little weird, a little different. We'll see. But here's a cover A. There is a B cover as well as a 1 in 10 that's wrap around. So I'm showing you the whole thing. Plus, it just kind of fit the slide, so I figured I'd show you the whole thing. I don't know. We'll see what this ends up being. It just looks a little strange, a little offbeat. I don't know. See how my mood is hitting me, but I've already got plenty to read this week, so I may not be up to trying out new things this week. Let me know, though. If you check this out, if it's good, I can always go back and pick it up later. We also get a giant size Hulk book, giant size Hulk here for the 50th. So multiple covers. Cover A. I think there's a Stormbreakers cover, and then there's a Villains cover. She's got all their little headshots on it. And then there is a 1 in 25 variant for this one as well. Not bad. This is probably the best cover of the group, but I don't know if I want to pay a 1 in 25 price for this. But there it is. Giant size Hulk, 1 in 25. It's doing a little bit on the pre-sale market already. So you can see, while copies have only sold for 20 and 25 bucks, right around that ratio mark, the asking prices have kind of crept up on us. So while that's what actually sold, the next copies people are looking to get 45, 50, $90 for this thing. Because to be honest, there are probably not going to be a lot of shops that order 25 copies of a giant size. It's a special, it's a one-shot type of thing. A lot of stores, they don't, regardless of the character, they generally will do much less than the regular, less than what their regular Incredible Hulk buyers would buy, because they don't think everybody who's buying their Incredible Hulk is going to get this too. So they usually order less. So who knows? Who knows how tough this could be? But just because, again, there's not a lot of copies doesn't automatically mean it's collectible or valuable. It's got to be demand too. And I have no idea what's in the guts of this book to make this in demand as of yet. So we'll see what happens this week. Like I said, might give it a flip through, but not a huge giant size collector. It's just extra money like annuals. I hate buying annuals because a lot of times there's like one good story mixed in with a bunch of crap, just kind of fill it out and they just hit my wallet up to get extra money out of me. But it is what it is. When you get OCD and you try to collect things, you got to buy it all. You got to buy it all, I guess. We are getting another new number one. We are getting Roxxon Thor. So Roxxon presents Thor. If you've been reading Immortal Thor, which I have not been keeping up with it, but I've got a general idea of where they're going. A lot of fourth wall breaking things. I mean, in that universe, Roxxon owns the rights to Thor, which is why they're publishing their own comic about Thor. And then there's the whole thing, I guess, about mythos and legends and creating gods and all that stuff. You can like all that Neil Gaiman, American Gods, and that type of vibe. But Roxxon presents Thor number one is coming out. So we got a new Thor potentially. Couple of covers. This is cover A. There is B cover as well as C cover. Bradshaw looks like it's a wraparound or maybe even a connecting cover there. And then there's one incentive that is a 1 in 50. That's a virgin version of that cover there in the middle, which is that a Granoff? Looks like it's a Granoff. Not in love with it, but it's all right, I guess. But just so you know what pre-sale is doing, one did pre-sell. Oh, it is a Granoff for $100. I should have recognized the signature. But pre-sale for $100 for this 1 in 50, and then asking 90 to 100. Oof. I don't know. It's a bit pricey for my taste, but maybe I get the regular Granoff and just be happy there. With that, we are also getting another Assassin's Creed book. I love the game series. Just gonna keep getting these comics too, because any more in these mythos, I'm in. Despite the fact that the movie wasn't great, I expected a lot more out of that Fassbender movie. But who knows? Maybe they'll get it right one of these days and catch the actual tone of why we enjoy playing this game. But I'm looking forward to the next one. Had a lot of fun playing the last couple, from Mirage to the Valhalla, the Viking one, which took forever, by the way. Multiple covers here. Not going to spend time. This isn't a gaming channel, so I won't talk too much gaming, but more covers here, as you can see. So the fall number one, and there is a one. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not a 1 in 50. This is a 1 in 10. I didn't change that little graphic, but this is a 1 in 10, not a 1 in 50. So there is one incentive. It's a 1 in 10. It looks like a virgin version or a limited trade dress version of that other open order variant. Valiant is still rolling out new books with a new publisher. So Alien Books is now giving us Valiant, and they are giving us a Punk Mambo number one. Pretty cool Dan Panosian cover, but an uncool price of like $13 because this is a big oversized book like they've done with the last couple. I don't know. That's just a lot of money for me to just throw out on a one shot. I'd rather you just charge me a $3.99, $4.99 book and break it up and give me two of them. I don't know. But A cover, and there is a B cover on it as well. Pick your poison. Both of them cost, like I said, $13 or so. A little too much for my taste. We're also getting another Darkstalkers book. So, Udon, Darkstalkers Jeddah, number one. Pretty cool cover. I don't remember using this character a lot, but there are multiple covers here as well, including a blank cover, B cover, as well as a 1 in 5 incentive, as Udon likes to do. I would not be surprised. I looked and checked, but it's still early in the week on the weekend, and I didn't see any sort of secret release, but you know how they've done with the Street Fighters and even the Darkstalkers. There could be a secret cover released for this one per store as well. I haven't seen it yet, but keep an eye out for it in case they do, because those things generally do all right as time passes, especially if the cover features a interesting looking female like this cover does. Could do all right for itself. That said, even this 1 in 5, it's already going like $10 or so. You can't really do the ratio thing on a 1 in 5 because the book already costs like $5. So you know, it's almost like $10 is kind of the norm. $8, $10 is where a lot of shops are going to charge you for it. But if you want it, go ahead, go for it. Up next, later printings. We're half hour into the show. Let's keep it rolling. Later prints. We do have more later prints this week because they can't stop themselves. Another facsimile. Crisis on Infinite Earths, #1. And this is actually a wraparound cover. I just didn't have the room to fit it on here. There is a blank cover as well. So I'll show you the wraparound on the foil. Same thing, but this is a foil version. Facsimile. $5.99. Not a bad price if you want the shiny foil, but the regular is only $4, so I might just spend the $4 and be happy. Also getting a facsimile continuing on for this year with the anniversaries of, and we got to Amazing Spider-Man, so 255. We've gone through most of this run, so now 255 facsimile is getting not only a facsimile reprint cover, but an incentive 1 in 25. Reworked, reimagined version of that cover. Great. I don't know. You guys already know I've complained enough about different cover on a facsimile reprint. Makes no sense, but whatever. People like to buy these, so there you go. 45, 40, 25. Yeah. Asking price is 45 to 65 already. We'll see where this one kind of falls. I don't expect to see a lot of volume or a lot of sales, but it is what it is. It's out there, and might cost you a little extra to get one if you're into it. Weeks and weeks ago, we mentioned this Nasselverse, which is got to be the most oddball ragtag group of properties that they're slamming together into a shared universe that you can probably find, from Biker Mice to Mars to Robo Force to Power Lords and Sectars and the Great Galoo. I don't know, but we got a second print. Remember, the other ones were all like blue, so now the second print's I got a purple kind of vibe going for it here, a little bit of fuchsia. But if you missed out on it, here's your chance. Second print. Just like Boom's giving us another Dune second print. I'm surprised these Dune comics aren't doing better than they are with the popularity of Dune 2 and the series. I absolutely loved the movie, the sequel. I liked the first one too. I know a lot of people call it boring. It's not for all. But I'm a sci-fi geek, so I was into it. I was fine with the pacing. I was a big fan of Dune 2. But I'll agree, it is a long movie. It's not the fastest paced movie in the world. So you got to be into it. You got to be on board for that. I loved it. But the comics, I haven't really read these. I'm thinking more and more about it now that I'm just kind of like, we're going to have to wait probably a long time before we get Dune Messiah to wrap up this trilogy. But maybe I'll go check out these comics. Here's an opportunity to get a second print for House Carino. I don't know. There's a lot of different series. You got House Harkonnen, House Atreides, etc. A lot of different like prequels and sequels. There's like a lot of weird different mini series out there that Boom has been releasing for the last few years. So I don't know. Something I'm going to take a look into in the coming weeks. I think take a little dive, see if there's anything of interest there. With that, a newish series. I feel like their new #1 was just like 2 weeks ago, but we've already got Man's Best second printing here. So I guess we're getting We 3 again. That's all I thought about when I first saw the cut of this. I don't know what this story's about. I didn't read it. I'll freely admit that. I'm not really interested in it. I've had enough of the animal books. I like Stray Dogs. I'm into checking out, continue to check out Feral. Between the Trees, where nobody sees, has been all right, but I'm just starting to lose momentum reading books about these animals. So this one's just not been for me. And this is like Animal Pound is another one that's out there right now. Granted, these might be great stories. It's just right now, I just have no taste for it. But if you do, help yourself. Second print right there. Batman First Night is also getting a second printing. A nice little pulp cover too. Kind of like it. Kind of cool. It's a black label, so it's big, oversized kind of thing. Also, Weapon X-Men, if you have nothing better to do with your time. This is not a great read. Not a great read, but at the same time, I can't look away. Don't know why. Read 2 of these already, and neither of them been good, but I'm still kind of curious where we're going with number 3. This ragtag group of different Logans from other universes being brought together to stop Onslaught. It's a dumb idea. It's dumb, stupidly executed, but for some reason, I keep looking at it, even though it's not good, or keep eating it, even though it's not good. Here we go. Got a second print for you. And luckily for us, no incentive. But we are getting incentive later on. Not quite here. Want to catch up on Twilight? We are getting a third print of issue 1 and issue 2, the Alex Ross covers. Not bad. Again, if you didn't read them, there's an opportunity to get them at cost, cover price. Check them out. Give them a read. Solid. Good read. Good times. But yeah, don't know if there's anything outside of that. I don't know if these third prints are going to be harder to find down the line and the people are going to love them. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't like collecting later printings for that reason, especially when just reused cover art. But if you want to catch up on your reading, this is a cheaper way to do it than spending the extra you might have to on the first prints for these, because they are a little pricey. I think they're still selling in the $10 to $15, $20 kind of range for the first prints for 1 and 2. Also, third printing for Ultimate Spider-Man. What is this? Issue 2? Yeah, issue 2. All right. If you missed out on it, go for it. But yeah, can't imagine how. There's plenty of copies out there, but whatever. Black Panther as well. Black Panther number 2, second printing. All right. Guess what? You got a 1 in 25 coming with this one too. That's what we needed. But it is what it is, and people pay that same price that they have been for ages. 30 to 60 pre-sales, asking prices 50 to 60. I don't know, just not for me, but if that's what you want to do, good luck. Good luck. Have at it. Same with Spectacular Spider-Man. Second printing here. 1 in 25 as well. I don't know. It's pretty cool. I mean, this is just the foil cover that's been now reworked to be a regular cover version, but I don't know. But Spectacular Spider-Man number 1, if you want that second printing. People have already paid 50 to 60 bucks for that 1 in 25, and there's one listed for over $60. So once again, that's kind of the market. It's kind of like the standardized market now at this point. Like, but they pre-sell out so much that once the actual release date comes, a lot of these don't sell. Like, they just don't. Like, the market is already met, usually with the pre-sales, because I think enough FOC orders are, you want the 1 in 25, we'll sell it to you for 60 bucks from shops or even through eBay. And that's it. They order enough to get that. They sell that person that, cost is covered, and then that dealer just, grinds out the regular covers to make some profit. Because, why not? But whatever. With that said, I mentioned it before, we do have a new selection of Marvel Vampire covers. This is to get us ready for Blood Hunt. Looking forward to it. Also, been digging these Tomb of Dracula type homage covers. Got a couple of shorts dropping as well for these that will just kind of spotlight these vampire covers. Because like I said, I like them. I like a good homage. So with that said, here are the 6 that we got this week. Black Widow and Hawkeye. Pretty cool. It's giant size chillers right there. Boom. Lilith. Not bad, right? I mean, I love it. They do the trade dress and everything in a similar fashion. Text boxes, everything. Dig it. We're also getting Tomb of Ghost Rider. It's that Ghost Rider Final Vengeance number 2. It's a Tomb of Dracula. Pretty cool. Fire Cross. See, like I said, the word bubbles, everything. 1-for-1 matches. Pretty sweet. Miles Morales is also getting one. It's a Tomb of Dracula number 55 homage. Again, a ton of Tomb of Draculas, but I mean, to be fair, Vampire series coming. We're going to go back and look at a lot of these Dracula books. Or we can get weird and go with an ASM 101, Morbius, Spider-Man's famous non-blood sucker vampire. But here we go. Spectacular Spider-Man 2 has that homage there. Kind of fun. Spider Boy has one as well. It is a Tomb of Dracula #3. I don't like the brown, but it is what it is. And lastly, they did not stick with the color scheme. Adventure into Fear. A man called Morbius, but in this case, it's Spider Woman doing it. And you can see, like I said, she got the cityscape, but she did not stick with that bright red, even though that's her color. So that was kind of a weird choice on the homage to not really lean into that. But yeah. And then we also had Hawkeye. Why didn't they flip flop them? I don't know. Whatever. That was their choice. Creative decision, I guess. Still pretty cool. There you go. We're also getting more Jim Lee. DC, as you know, is doing artist spotlights occasionally, and this month they are spotlighting my favorite, one of my favorites, I should say, Jim Lee. Not the best selection this week, though. I will freely admit it's kind of meh. Here's a Nightwing. It's not bad, but it looks like a trading card. Looks like an old school DC trading card from back in the day. Nah, just could be better. Same thing with here with the Bizarro. It's not bad on Superman 13. It's not terrible, but it's all right. It's a standard looking Bizarro. We got a standard shot of Aquaman. Maybe I'm just spoiled and I've seen Jim Lee draw all these characters before, but it just kind of feels all right. So Aquaman here on World's Finest. And then probably the best of the bunch is on the Catwoman, where we have like a demonized looking Batman and Catwoman there. So that's kind of cool. And with that, we will piggyback off of Catwoman into our cheesecake cover section because we're going to start off the cheesecake section with Catwoman. Bubble helmet. So all you bubble helmet collectors out there, I know there's a Harley Quinn 1 in 25 coming our way. That's also a bubble helmet cover, but this is the David Nakayama Catwoman bubble helmet cover. So yeah, it's not bad. If you're into this thing, there you go. There are other covers here as well, all pretty solid. Yeah, Indy Huck Lee's and Derek Chews, etc. Lyrics Lee, here's a 1 in 25, and then the 1 in 50 is not bad either. But they're not selling for anything really above ratio, so you can get these if you're interested, or just grab the cover that you like. Personally, I'm probably just gonna grab the Nakayama bubble helmet because it's Nakayama, and I like it. With this, we can also show off a couple of Wonder Woman covers this week to fit this section. These two covers aren't too bad. Like the Golden Eagle. I think it's Tedesco. Not too bad, but really the pick of the week for this would have to be the Sway 1 in 25. Just something about it. It's just like a quiet moment with her just kind of like in thought, tucking her hair back behind her ear. I don't know. I like it. It's a nice little moment captured here, and it is capturing money out of people's wallets already, as pre-sales have been, yes, copies sold for 20, but earlier pre-sales for 55 and $70 almost. And then asking prices are closer to 60, $65 right now. It's kind of steep, but I guess it happens every so often. Every so often we get a DC cover featuring usually a female character, and those covers have done well on the pre-sale and aftermarket. So we'll see how this does once Wednesday hits. But as of right now, this is definitely one to watch. And again, if you can get one at your shop for a decent price, it may be a good idea to consider it, as you can see here. But with that said, let's move on to Perillo. It couldn't be a week without Perillo doing a Vampirilla or something of that nature. Dynamite it is. Vampirilla 668. There's also a Carla Cohen and a couple of others here that aren't too bad, including a 1 in 7. Dynamite and their weird ratios. The only reason I'm showing that 1 in 7 is because it is a different cover, where usually the ratios are just reworked versions of the other covers. But in this case, it was new art, so I felt like I should show it to you. So I did. But still, Cohen's pretty solid. And there's also a photo cover, but I didn't want to get too cheesy with the cheesecake section by showing the photo covers. And that'll also be a reason why I don't show you all the covers of another book we'll wrap this section up with. But next, we will go to Zenescope and another Grimm fairy tale book. This time it's Oz, Fall of the Emerald City, #1. A few cover options for you here if you're into this. Not too bad. Not too bad. Jay Enceloto there is probably my favorite one right there. But yeah, keep an eye on it if you're curious. And as I mentioned, I'm just going to show you the cover A. There are a multitude of covers on this. Some of them not suitable for work or our purposes here. They're going to be polybagged and covered up and all that stuff. But Penthouse Comics #2 is being released. This is the Lyrics Lee cover on the cover A. So there you go. Go check out all the other options that you have if you're curious, including a photo cover. But yeah, I just didn't want to get too far into the weeds of showing you all of those. You get the idea. So I'm just giving you the one. It's Penthouse after all, which carried a different vibe from back in my day. But anyway, with that all said, we'll get into one of my favorite sections of the week, and that is
WTF, Gary. WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh.
That's right. WTF. And we're going to start WTF off with our nutshot of the week. You're wondering to yourself, what are you talking about? Usually it's like a Thanos Grundle or Captain America's taint or something like that that I'm focusing in on for this nutshot of the week. But no, today somebody decided to draw it on her face. So there you go. Boom, right there. Backslash. Back to school. #4. Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny, so I put it in here. But the real weird books for the week are the 8 books. Yeah. I don't know if you remember, we did have that April special, which wasn't a terrible read, but it was all right actually. Silly, a lot of apes, monkey comic characters and all, but we are getting some special variants now featuring all these characters. This one Titano? I think this is Titano. I always have a hard time with DC remembering a lot of these older characters and the giant gorilla, whatever. But yeah, April special variant here. We also have this super guy, this super monkey, as well as is this Muso Mala and the brain on Titans. Yeah, it's April special, April special covers. So yeah, I don't know. Kind of fun. If you're into it, go ahead, collect them. I'm not buying these. I don't have enough in the wallet to go and get every sort of weird little variants, theme, but felt like I'd show them off. I was going to do it in a whole separate category, but it really felt like it fit the WTF section, so we put it here. And with that said, we've only got one more segment left, and no covers this week. No regular old covers. A lot of it was covered in the sections that I have already showed off. So I didn't feel the need to just go and spotlight one or two randos that I just like the covers, because also my wallet, it's already stretched pretty thin. So there's no random pickups where I'm just going to grab this for the cover just because I like the way the cover of the book looks. I can't afford that this week because there's too much stuff to read. But with that said, there are some incentives I think you should also keep an eye out for. Kind of caught my eye. Some good cover art. Prices, we'll see where they go. First one being Spectacular Spider-Man #2. It's a Mike Mayhew cover. It's not too bad. I kind of like the textures of it. Like something about the way Mike Mayhew paints and draws and does his art. It's got a vibe to it, and there's something about it that I do like. Whether it just be the sheen to it, the textures of the characters' outfits, whatever it is, I kind of like it. Kind of catches the eye. And this 1 in 25 is doing okay. Still kind of in that you see copies selling for 20, 25, 30. Asking prices are in that range of 20, 25, 30. So much like some of the other earlier ones where I didn't show that off, I decided to do it here on the outside for Spectacular Spider-Man because I wasn't sure what the prices were going to be. But they ended up being kind of in that we'll see kind of range. Could go up, could go down. We don't know. Not yet. We'll see how that goes over the week. Same thing with Miles Morales, Spider-Man #19. We're leading into his connections and crossovers with the Blood Hunt stuff pretty soon, I think in the next couple issues. But for now, there's a Derek Chew cover that I kind of like with all the electric, lights and all that stuff. It's got a nice little look to it. Same kind of feel as the Spider-Man, though, with early pre-sales right around ratio at 25, 24, 24. One sold for 40. That kind of raised my eyebrows a little bit. But then when you look what's available, yes, there's a copy looking for 50, but then there's also a copy only looking for 20. So we'll see where this one falls to. Could be right around ratio, could end up going over. Not sure yet where this is going to land. Better feeling that we might have to pay a little extra if you want to go and grab Captain Marvel. Not so much because of this particular cover, I think it's Mercado, but because of the history of this book. Number 5 hit, cost a lot of money. Number 6 initially hit, then kind of dropped. So I think people are just buying these because they just expect all of these to be expensive, but that's not always the case, and that's not always how it works. But we'll see. With that said, early returns, some 35, 45, $55 sales already, early pre-sales, asking prices 40 to 50 bucks. It's okay. Not in love with this one, but it's all right. But Miguel Mercado, again, on this 1 in 25, Captain Marvel. Up to you what you want to do with it. But I'm going to keep an eye on it and see how this performs over the week. And then lastly, we have one more 1 in 25 to look at, and that is Black Widow, Hawkeye. This is AKA, I think, Aka. I don't know how they pronounce their handle. But 1 in 25 pre-sales, right around ratio, 20 to 25. But I feel like this one might end up going above, with the asking prices looking for $40 to $50. It's just a gut feeling. This one might land more in that $40 kind of range by the time the week ends. But we'll see. We will see. That's why we're watching, and that's why all this stuff is on the watch list, or my watch list at least, because I want to see how a lot of this stuff performs, and the other stuff is just stuff I want to read. As you know, that's what we should be doing. We should be enjoying our comic books. That's what they're made for. They're made to be opened up. There's pretty pictures and words and everything. So enjoy your comics. Enjoy the hobby. Don't take things too seriously. And thanks for stopping by and for all the support. I'll be back with more content very soon. And yeah, see you all later. All right.